Welcome back to another episode of The Pod Well Travelled by Seven West Media. I'm Penny Thomas, and today I'm joined by Travel Editor Stephen Scourfield. And we've got a bit of a special show planned for today where we're sort of going to be hearing various clips from your recent trip to Africa, which is some really great audio clippings that you sort of captured throughout your time there. And there was one in particular that I was listening to not that long ago, and you actually note how lucky am I in that sort of segment. And I just wanted to sort of talk to you about how those moments are never lost on you, especially when you're exploring somewhere that you might have been before with other people and seeing everyone. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, this trip was specifically in Zambia and Botswana, and then just over into the sort of Victoria Falls end of Zimbabwe. And the point was, yes, I was taking people with me on one of our travel club tours, which I'd sort of put this list together like in my favourite places, basically. And I'd kept it to those countries because in sub-Saharan Africa, you know, they're stable. There are lots of ethical reasons that I chose to just keep it within that. You know, I mean, they've got a good record in so far as anti-corruption's concerned and conservation and those sorts of underlying principles, I suppose, in a society. And then I'd put together this list of, you know, my favourite places within those countries, and we'd basically, with Imagine Holidays, our partners in this, they'd literally put that together as an itinerary and booked charter planes in between, and off we went. So, yeah, look, it was the result of so many years for me of travelling in Africa and in those countries. So probably it's the result of 6 or 8 or whatever other trips, you know, to pull out the best of sort of album, if you like. So, yeah, look, I feel incredibly lucky that I know those things, and then even luckier that I can share them. You know, we share them in stories, as you do, as I do, you know, or on the pod here. We share those experiences, but to share them and watch other people react to them is also pretty special. And to know that you've served up, you know, say the best of the best of, in my opinion and my experience, so that everything they do is really pretty impactful, you know. I mean, wildlife, the people, the culture, and the people that we brush past in these little audio files are interesting.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's take a listen to one of those now.
I'm actually at the Machabi bush camp in Botswana in the Okavango Delta. I've just arrived, flown in by a small plane, which is the only way to get here. And this is the staff here, who are all locals. It's so nice being in Botswana where everything's run by local people and you feel you're supporting that. We've stopped, we've had a little game drive already and seen an elephant just walking through water. It's just a great moment. We've stopped now for bush dinner. The campfire's going, there are candles all around in bags and the table's laid. And here come the staff to welcome us. And how lucky am I?
Okay, that was great. Thanks for that, Stephen. I guess, can you tell me about the people that work or the teams that are sort of behind a lot of the bush camps and things that you visited?
Yeah, it's so interesting. In both of these countries, Botswana and Zambia, and Zimbabwe, there's so many locals involved in tourism, and so many locals want to get into tourism. We've got children who walk 12 kilometres to school every day, and they know that learning English and they know that tourism can be, a career path for them. So when they get into these places, they love it, and they love the guests. They love the international nature of people coming from all over the world and meeting people. So there's a genuine joy and connection there. And I think certainly, even through government policy, say in Zambia, there are career paths for them. So, there's a healthiness to the industry which I really like there. And I think so often the people we meet in countries and that we hold dear to us, the locals, are working in these sort of places, so that's our interface with local life and culture.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Okay, well, thanks for capturing all of these for us, and we'll leave you with one more, which I think was taken from Zambia, which it's really special as well.
Thanks. The sound you can just hear in the background, I hope, is on one side is a hippo singing. I'm looking out at the Luangwa River here in South Luangwa in Zambia. It's in the Eastern Province. It's a very abundant, green, beautiful area at this time of the year. We're just here at the end of the wet season, April, May. The tracks are still a bit wet and slippery, and there's lots of feed, but it's a very animated time to be here, so I'm loving that. The other sound you might just hear behind me is the 5:30 breakfast going on with the guests I'm with on our West Travel Club tour. We've come here through Botswana and Zambia, coming to very special places, and we're at Kafunta Bush Camp here. This bush lodge, I should say, Kafunta Bush Lodge, owned by Ron and Anchor, who spend half their time here and half their time in Perth, Western Australia, which of course is where we're from as well. We're just going out into the bush. Now, the last two visits that we've done have been game drives, sitting in vehicles which are open, converted, with rows of seats that are up high, so you get a very good view. And of course, that takes us into amazing places. We've seen elephants. We watched a pair of mating lions yesterday, right up close. Fantastic. Today's a bit different because we've got 3 scouts booked from the South Luangwa National Park. Our guides will drive us round in those vehicles into the national park, and then we'll get out. So the whole purpose of the exercise is to get out and walk and be on the ground here in Africa. It's really quite different. For me, it's a kind of seminal experience that when you take away the technology of the vehicle and get down on your feet, even though we'll have armed guards with us, scouts with us, making sure the area is safe, it's really quite levelling to be amongst the animals of Africa as a human being on your feet. And you realise that the moment we picked up a tool, the moment we picked up something which we'd now call a gun or a weapon of some sort, everything changed. This remarkable species, we changed our trajectory completely. So that's where we're off to. I'll leave you with the hippos singing, and perhaps in a future episode I'll bring you the actual experience of being on my feet in Africa.